Hey team, this week's exercise of the week, we are doing a feet elevated single arm ring row. And the people who might benefit from this, anyone who wants to improve their strict pulling strength, improve their lat function. And this was instrumental in helping me to get my one arm pull up. So even though it might look not that difficult, you can adjust it to be very, very difficult and not far off a single arm pull up in terms of difficulty if you get the weight distribution right. So we'll go through the setup. We're having feet elevated, obviously, and we want to be at an angle, which means most of our weight is still going through the hand versus the foot. Obviously, the more you put through the feet, the easier it's going to be. So it's a good scaling option to get the same single arm pulling stimulus if you don't have the raw strength just yet. And as you get stronger, you can then shift to ask for more from the hand and the arm rather than the lower body. The other thing you'll notice is that I am turning slightly towards the pulling arm. So notice this arm here, I'm sort of rolling over and my left knee is higher than my right knee. So I'm actually laterally flexing left, which is lengthening the lat a lot in the frontal plane. And I'm also rotating right, which is lengthening the lat in the transverse plane. So we're going from a really lengthened position for the lat combined with the hip flexion here as the start position. So we get great activation for the lat as we pull through. And this is obviously the easiest part of the lift, is just closing out, because we get a lot of support from the feet in this position. But that's the hardest part of the single arm pull up for most people. So you can spend some time here adjusting the amount of difficulty. You can even do some isometric holds here and shift your weight from one foot to the other, or just lift the feet off so you get more in the hand to just spend some time in that position, developing the strength to close out a rep. But notice as I come down, drop the hips, left knee high, left hand reaching to the right, big stretch, and then pull up to the top. If you wanted to give this a little bit more oomph, you could even add a side bend to the right to almost do an oblique crunch as you close the rep out, to go from a long position of the lat to go to a very short position of the lat. So I'm doing it a little bit in this one. See, I've dropped the right shoulder down, right elbow towards the hip, and you should feel a very strong contraction through the lat as you do it. Those are the key principles, guys. Try and lengthen the lat in as many planes of motion as possible. Play with your weight distribution to adjust the difficulty, and then you can also use the opportunity at the top to train the lock off, the close out of the rep, and adjust the weight again through the amount of force you put through the feet to support. I find this a really great exercise. If you're honest with yourself about what's difficult and what's not, you can make 3 reps incredibly hard in this setup, or you could do it high volume and bang out 10, 20 reps if you take a little bit more weight through the feet or use a gentler elevation. But give it a go. It's probably one of my favorite accessory exercises for pulling, full stop. And hopefully once you've tried it, you can feel why.